want to say welcome to everyone that has come out for the official ribbon cutting of the Hammond Northshore Regional Tower. We do have to have an official name for it, I guess. Jason, we probably need to work on that. We do have a number of elected officials here today that I do want to recognize, and I apologize if I miss anybody. I looked around as you were walking up, and this is in no particular order. We do have several members of the Hammond City Council that are here. You met Council President Bobby Martin. We also have Mike Williams. We also have Jason Hood. They're right over here. So thank you for being here. Parish President Gordon Burgess is here. I think I saw Junior Matthew here. And looking back, he sneaked in. Bob Zabia, Mayor of Ponchatoula. Great to have you here. Now, do we have any other elected officials that I missed? Oh, I'm going to get him in a minute. He doesn't count. And I'm also going to get Justin in a minute. He does count. He counts a great deal. So I do want to welcome all of the elected officials, and I want to welcome everybody here. I do want to make a few comments and call on some people, and one of those people is somebody that President Burgess just pointed out to me, and that's Senator Bodie White. And I can tell you that he has been a cheerleader of this project from day one. And I can recall the time that I got a call from Senator White. He said, Mayor, can you come up to Baton Rouge? And I said, sure, why do you need me, Senator? And he said, well, I've set up a meeting with the Commissioner of Administration, General Curtis, and he starts naming all of these other people, and I'm like, wow, he has all that power. That's great. But I can tell you that we met concerning a capital outlay program for this tower, this facility that you see behind us right here. So I think that it's only appropriate at this time that we recognize some of the people that have been so instrumental in making this happen. So at this time, I would like to call on Bodie White for some remarks regarding his involvement in the tower, and just to say thank you, Bodie. Come on up.
I'd just like to say that when I first was elected, I went and met with the mayor, and I said, Mayor, give me your capital outlay request. He said, well, I don't have many. So I said, I was in the House for 8 years, and I've helped build interstates and widen them and roads and facilities for cities, and we're going to get some capital outlay over here at Tangipahoa if I'm representing you, because I like to get my share of it, because there's a bunch of folks in this parish that pay their taxes, and you get a return to the locals. We return some of those dollars every year. And as having been chairman of Homeland Security in the House, I knew we moved as part of the program after Katrina. We moved the National Guard up here, and he began to tell me how. And I've been to this airport many times, and he began to tell me how we didn't have an air traffic controller over here. We didn't have a tower, and we have the National Guard here. We have the fastest growing area in the state of Louisiana, from East Baton Rouge Parish to Slidell on the North Shore. And there's a great facility and a great opportunity when you grow this airport for more corporations to move in with their planes, with their jets, which will bring commercial growth to this area. So I sat down and said, this is going to be my #1 priority for Tangipahoa Parish in the next year or two. We can get that in, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for this airport to grow, and a great opportunity for Hammond and North Shore. So we did have that meeting, and it was with the general there and the folks, and also he hadn't named yet, but Senator Landry, she helped us on the federal level with the Homeland Security folks to get federal dollars also. So with all of us working together as a team, we were able to secure this project very quick, get it built in a matter of about 2 years from once we started securing the funds, which is, when you're dealing with state government and the federal government, that's like warp speed. So I appreciate the remarks from the mayor and the outgoing mayor. It's been a very good friend of mine for the last 3 years, and thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Senator. he had mentioned Senator Mary Landrieu, and I do also want to tell a little story about Senator Landrieu. We went up to Fort Worth to talk about this project, and Fort Worth is the FAA, and there were several of the military people that were involved in that. I was there, Jason Ball, a few other people. And I don't know how they do their magic, but we had the meeting and everybody at the FAA, and we must have had about, Patrick, we must have had about 15 people from the FAA in that room, everybody that was somebody. And then Senator Landrieu's state director, T. Bradley Keith, went to talk to the director of the FAA after our meeting, and he came out and he said, I think we're okay. Well, as we got in the plane to come back, he told us he thought that the FAA was going to give us some money. Ladies and gentlemen, within 3 weeks, we had received a check, not a promise, not a grant, Lacey. We got a check for $800,000. So we want to that. So with the money that Senator White was able to help us get through the state, along with Senator Landrieu's efforts, that is what funded the tower that we have. Now, I want to tell you that T. Bradley Keith was supposed to be here today, but I just got a text from him that said, Mason, someone just slammed into my car at the gas station in Denham Springs. He just called the police. If he could get it handled, he would be there. If not, thank you so much for all of your efforts on the tower. So I want to say thank you also to T. Bradley Keith and Senator Mary Landrieu for their efforts. Now, in addition to that, of course, it's not just one person in Congress. It takes a lot of people in Congress to get anything going. We're very fortunate in this area to have representation by a gentleman by the name of Steve Scalise, who loves coming to this area. And today we are represented with Congressman Scalise by Justin Crossy. So at this point, I would like to ask Justin if he could come forward and bring greetings from Representative Scalise.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all. When Congressman Scalise was first elected, he asked me to kind of go around to different areas and find out what some of the priorities were for the community. And after speaking to many of the tenants here at the airport, the consensus was that a tower was desperately needed. We had some issues with FAA as far as getting someone to listen to the needs of Hammond. We were able to help set up a few of those meetings. We worked closely with the National Guard Bureau and with Mason Foster and his administration, and the fruits of those labors behind us today. Again, the congressman would have liked to have been here, but unfortunately he has prior commitments in other areas today, and he asked me to come out here and pass that along. But again, this is a project that has been on his radar since first coming into office, and finally looks like it's complete. So,
Thank you. Senator David Vitter has also sent his regards and commendations for all of the hard work to get this done. We thank Senator Vitter as well. At this point, I would like to call forth Jason Ball. Jason is the Hammond Airport Director, and he is going to introduce some folks that have been involved in this project. Jason?
Thank you, sir. This has been a long time coming. We are very excited. And like the mayor said, it has been a lot of work on a lot of people's parts. And with the funding aspect, he didn't mention, the city did work very hard. Any shortcomings in funding, the city was there with anything they needed to be. A lot of airports don't have the support of their administration and their mayors and their cities. So thank you very much for being as supportive of the airfield as you are. Every day we have to deal with a board just like many of you, and a lot of my board members, I think all of my board members are here today, so I'd like to recognize them. See Mr. Sonny Yoakum, Mr. Mark Rolling, Mr. Ken Ross, Mr. Olaf Ross, and Mr. Reggie Russell back there. Thank you. They have to listen to me every day and help us out with all the things that we do on a daily basis. Also, we have our design engineers for the airfield. They had some. They put some work into this. We have Michael Hickson and Natalie Graham with LPA Baker. And the big sign that you see up on the catwalk, Spartan Builders. They were extremely great to work with. This is a long project, and there was a lot of different things that went into it, a lot of people moving around and getting things done. But I think like the senator said, for moving as quickly as the government works, this was a fast project, and they did an extremely great job. So I want to thank them as well. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much, Mason. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, I love to tell stories. And, in 2005, we all remember what happened in 2005 is when Katrina hit. And Katrina was, of course, a disaster, but it was also something that was a catalyst for our area. We had some meetings that the Louisiana Army National Guard decided that they might want to move up into this area. So we had some meetings with the National Guard, and sure enough, the results of what you see across the way come from some of those initial meetings. At this point, I would like to introduce someone from the Louisiana Army National Guard who has just been fantastic. He has become a friend of mine from 2005, late 2005, when we started working on this project. He and I have been to Fort Worth a couple of times together. We had an airplane that had a problem back in 2006, so we almost went down together. But I wasn't worried because he has 10,000 hours, and I looked over at him and I said, "Are we worried, Patrick?" And he said, "I'm not." So if he wasn't worried, I wasn't worried. And then we had the other trip where we were able to meet with the FAA group in Fort Worth, and Patrick was there also. Ladies and gentlemen, a friend to this airport, a friend to the city of Hammond, and of course, a great friend to the Louisiana Army National Guard, Patrick Becerra. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is a great day indeed and a long time in coming. On behalf of General Curtis and the Louisiana National Guard staff, we'd like to send a warm welcome, and General Curtis is out of town and busy today, or he'd be here. I'd like to take just a moment to introduce some of my staff. Chief Warrant Officer Dares is the Chief Warrant Officer of the state of Louisiana. Colonel Plunkett is the AASF #1 commander, and he runs all that stuff you see across the airfield. My State Sergeant Major Creasy, State Aviation Command Sergeant Major. And I know Marquette is around somewhere, but Marquette and Scott Hale, they'll be the folks who are in charge of the controllers in the tower. Just very quickly, I'd like to thank Congressman Scalise's office, Senator Landrieu's office, Senator White's office in the state of Louisiana for all they did in making this project a reality. In conjunction with the partnership with the city of Hammond, the state officials, the congressional delegation from Louisiana, in addition to the National Guard Bureau, what you see is not only the construction of the tower, but the folks it's going to take to run it and the equipment that is in it, the radios and all of the different things that make the tower work. So it's been a great partnership. We look forward to a very long relationship, and I think that there are some great things ahead for the tower to include increased traffic and economic development for the area. So again, want to thank all of the folks who are part of it. It's all a team effort, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time. I know a lot of you have come out to take a tour of the tower. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the ribbon cutting, and I would invite everybody to come over towards the building over that way. We'll have the ribbon in the front. I think the Chamber of Commerce has the ribbon just about ready to cut. After that, we will be able to tour the tower. It's my understanding that we're going to go in groups of 10. Now, in order to tour the tower, I need to tell you that you will have to walk up approximately 98 steps. And then you have to walk down 98 steps. So it is a little trek up there, but it's really interesting, and it's a great, great view from the top of the tower. So at this point in time, I would like to invite everyone to please move over towards the door where you see the yellow bollards, and we're going to line up there. Okay, are we ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
Yes, sir. Thank you.